Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're dedicating the entire list to one of the most beloved and most respected watchmaking nations on Earth, Japan. Specifically, we're exploring 10 of the finest references from Seiko and its prestige division Grand Seiko, two names that together span every level of the collecting world, from the most accessible entry points in mechanical watchmaking to some of the most breathtaking dial artistry produced anywhere on the planet. From mountain glaciers to cocktail bars, from deep-sea diving to the cutting edge of high horology, today's list proves that Japanese watchmaking is not an alternative to the Swiss tradition. It is a peer of it. Let's get into it. Number 10. Grand Seiko Evolution 9 SLGH05 White Birch. The Grand Seiko Evolution 9 CLGH05, known among collectors as the White Birch, is one of the most visually extraordinary watches produced anywhere in the world at any price. A piece that stops conversation the moment it enters a room. The dial is the work of artisans in Shizukuishi, Japan, hand-finished to evoke the luminous, textured bark of a white birch forest in winter, layers of light and shadow captured in lacquer and applied by hand, unique across every single example produced. The Evolution 9 case is Grand Seiko's most architecturally ambitious design language to date. Sharper, more angular, more assertive than the heritage-inspired cases that preceded it, with Zaratsu-polished surfaces so reflective they function almost as mirrors. Inside beats the 9SA5 movement, Grand Seiko's in-house caliber featuring a proprietary dual-impulse escapement and a free-sprung balance with a 80-hour power reserve, representing the most advanced movement the manufacturer has ever released. The SLGH05 White Birch is not a watch you simply wear. It is a watch you contemplate. The Grand Seiko Evolution 9 SLGH05 retails for approximately $7,800 USDT. Number 9. Grand Seiko Heritage SBGH281 Snowflake Lite. The Grand Seiko Heritage SBGH281, affectionately known by collectors as the Snowflake Lite, is Grand Seiko's answer to a question many enthusiasts had quietly asked for years. What if the legendary Snowflake dial came in a lighter, more wearable package? The SBGH281 delivers exactly that. The same mesmerizing hand-finished dial texture, inspired by the snow-covered terrain of Shinshu, now housed in a case that sits more elegantly on a wider range of wrist sizes without sacrificing a single element of what made the original so beloved. The high-beat 9SA5 movement inside provides that distinctively smooth, almost liquid sweep of the seconds hand that Grand Seiko devotees recognize immediately. A motion so fluid, it reads less like a mechanical watch and more like time itself flowing across the dial. The applied indices and hands, polished to a standard that demands a loop to fully appreciate, catch light from angles that feel almost impossible. The SBGH281 is Grand Seiko distilled to its purest, most irresistible essence. The Grand Seiko Heritage SBGH281 retails for approximately $6,500 USDT. Number 8. Seiko Presage Sharp-Edged GMT SPB409. The Seiko Presage Sharp-Edged GMT SPB409 is a watch that announces the arrival of something new in Seiko's design vocabulary. An architectural boldness, a geometric precision, and a GMT complication delivered at a price that makes the competition genuinely uncomfortable. The Sharp-Edged collection takes its name from the case and dial design philosophy. Every surface, every angle, every transition between planes is executed with a deliberateness and a crispness that recalls the finest Japanese craft traditions of metalwork and ceramics. The blue dial with its faceted, angular applied indices catches light from every direction differently, creating a constantly shifting visual experience across the day. The GMT hand in vivid red gives the dual time zone function immediate legibility, and the caliber 6R54 inside delivers a reliable 72-hour power reserve with date display. The SPB409 is a watch that looks like it costs twice what it does and performs exactly as it should. The Seiko Presage Sharp-Edged GMT SPB409 retails for approximately $1,000 USDT. Number 7. Seiko King Seiko SPB287 Iced Blue. The Seiko King Seiko SPB287, known among its admirers as the Iced Blue, is a revival of one of Seiko's most historically significant sub-brands, and the modern interpretation honors that heritage with a restraint and a quality that the original's most devoted fans had every right to demand. King Seiko was Seiko's internal rival to Grand Seiko during the 1960s precision watch wars, a period of extraordinary watchmaking ambition that Japan has never quite replicated. And the Spy Uraven carries that competitive DNA in every detail. The iced blue dial, inspired by the frozen surface of a still lake in deep winter, is finished with a vertical brushing technique that creates a depth and a luminosity impossible to fully capture in photographs. The slim, elegantly proportioned case with its Zaratsu polished flanks and brushed tops reflects Seiko's finishing capabilities at their most refined. The caliber 6L35 inside, developed specifically for the King Seiko revival, beats at 28,800 vibrations per hour with a 72-hour power reserve. The SPB287 Iced Blue is Seiko history made wearable. The Seiko King Seiko SPB287 retails for approximately $1,300 USD dues. Number 6. Seiko Alpinist SPB409 Mountain Glacier. The Seiko Alpinist SPB409, known to the collecting community as the Mountain Glacier, is the latest evolution of one of the most distinctive and most passionately followed watch designs in the entire Seiko catalog, and it may be the finest version of the Alpinist that has ever existed. The Mountain Glacier dial captures exactly what its name promises: the pale, luminous, almost translucent quality of ancient glacial ice viewed from the summit of a Japanese peak, rendered in layers of color that shift from cool gray to soft blue depending on the light and the angle. The signature crown at 4 o'clock configuration and internal compass bezel remain, because these are not quirks to be corrected. They are the Alpinist's soul. The caliber 6R35 delivers an outstanding 70-hour power reserve, and the sapphire crystal and 200 meters of water resistance ensure this is a genuine tool watch capable of the adventures its design heritage implies. The Alpinist SPB409 Mountain Glacier is the watch that converts the curious into the devoted. The Seiko Alpinist SPB409 retails for approximately $800 USD. Number 5. Seiko Prospex SPB143J1 1965 Reinterpretation. The Seiko Prospex SPB143J1 is a direct conversation with history, a watch that reaches back to 1965 and to Seiko's very first purpose-built professional diver, and reinterprets that landmark reference for the modern wrist without flinching from the original's character or compromising its integrity. The domed crystal, the cushion-adjacent case shape, the textured dial, and the broad, luminous indices are all present and faithful. Yet the SPB143J1 wears with a modernity and a finish quality that the original, for all its pioneering significance, could never have achieved. The caliber 6R15 movement inside provides reliable daily performance, and the 200 meters of water resistance honors the professional dive watch credentials that started the Prospex story. The J1 designation marks it as a Japan domestic specification, a detail that adds desirability for collectors who understand what it signifies. This is not nostalgia for nostalgia's sake. This is Seiko understanding its own history deeply enough to know which parts of it still matter. The Seiko Prospex SPB143J1 retails for approximately $750 USD. Number 4. Seiko 5 Sports GMT SSK005 Orange. The Seiko 5 Sports GMT SSK005 in Orange is the watch that arrived and immediately made enthusiasts reconsider everything they thought they knew about what an entry-level GMT could be. The SSK005 brought a genuine three-hand GMT complication, with a properly independent, locally adjustable hour hand, to the Seiko 5 Sports platform at a price that, frankly, seemed almost implausible the moment it was announced. The orange dial and bezel combination is bold without being garish, energetic without being exhausting, and distinctive in a way that photographs consistently fail to capture, because this is a watch that demands to be seen in person to be fully understood. The caliber 4R34 inside delivers the GMT function with Seiko's proven reliability, and the stainless steel case and bracelet are finished to a standard that makes the price feel like an oversight on Seiko's part. The SSK005 Orange is the GMT for everyone who thought a GMT wasn't for them. The Seiko 5 Sports GMT SSK005 Orange retails for approximately $380 USD. Number 3. Seiko Presage Cocktail Time SRPB51 Starlight. The Seiko Presage Cocktail Time SRPB41, known to its devoted following as the Starlight, is one of the most genuinely beautiful dress watches available at any price. A statement that sounds like hyperbole until you see the dial in the right light and understand immediately that it is simply true. The Cocktail Time collection takes its inspiration from the luminous, layered aesthetics of the Tokyo bar scene after dark, and the Starlight dial captures that inspiration with extraordinary fidelity. A deep, midnight blue surface that appears to hold light rather than reflect it, shifting from near black to brilliant sapphire as the angle changes. The applied indices and hands are polished to a mirror standard that creates star-like points of light across the dial in low illumination. The caliber 4R35 inside is Seiko's proven workhorse automatic, and the slim, classically proportioned case and bracelet wear with an elegance that belies the modest price. The SRPB41 Starlight is the watch that makes people stop and stare, and then reach for their phone to find out how much it costs. The Seiko Presage Cocktail Time SRPB41 retails for approximately $370 USD. Number 2. Seiko Prospex Samurai SRPE93. The Seiko Prospex Samurai SRPE93 is a watch with a silhouette so distinctive, so immediately recognizable, and so deeply embedded in the affections of the collecting community that its nickname requires no explanation to anyone who has spent time in the hobby. The angular, almost aggressive case shape, the lines that earned it the Samurai name, give the SRPE93 a visual personality unlike anything else in the Prospex lineup or, honestly, in the broader dive watch market. The teal dial and matching bezel of the SRPE93 is a color combination of rare confidence, deep enough to read as a serious instrument, vivid enough to make a genuine impression. The caliber 4R35 inside provides reliable automatic performance with a 41-hour power reserve, and the 200 meters of water resistance backs up the tool watch aesthetic with genuine capability. The Samurai is the watch that proves you don't need a conservative dial to make a lasting impression. The Seiko Prospex Samurai SRPE93 retails for approximately $390 USDT. Number 1. Seiko 5 Sports SRPD51 5KX. The Seiko 5 Sports SRPD51, known across every corner of the watch collecting world simply as the 5KX, takes the top spot, and it does so not in spite of its price, but almost because of it. This is the watch that changed the conversation about what affordable watchmaking could achieve, that arrived seemingly overnight and instantly became the reference point against which every other entry-level automatic is measured. The blue dial with its textured finish, the stainless steel case and bracelet with alternating brushed and polished surfaces, the 100 meters of water resistance, the day-date display, the exhibition case back revealing the caliber 4R36 automatic movement. Taken individually, none of these features is extraordinary. Taken together at the price Seiko sells the SRPD51 for, they constitute one of the most compelling value propositions in the history of modern watchmaking. The 5KX is the watch that sits on the wrists of first-time collectors and seasoned veterans alike, that generates more enthusiasm in online communities than references costing 10 times as much, and that has introduced more people to the joy of mechanical watchmaking than perhaps any other single reference produced in the last decade. There is no higher praise for a watch than this. It makes people fall in love with watches. The Seiko 5 Sports SRPD51 retails for approximately $250 USD, and it is worth every single cent and then some.